Hello friends, welcome to Smash the Shell. I am Amit Kumar and this is the requested video by one of my viewer who asked me to create this kind of responsive navigation bar which has a logo on the extreme left hand side and list items or links on the right hand side, as you can see that in this demo. And let me show you, it's completely responsive and it will change its layout on small screens like this, and this is all created by the Flexbox module. Let me show you who requested this video. So this video was requested by Nitin Pereira and he asked me to create a responsive navbar which has a logo on the extreme left and buttons links on the extreme right. Okay guys, so if you have also any suggestions or requests, please feel free to mention in the comment section down below this video or message me on Twitter or Facebook, so I will create a video regarding your topic. So for now, let's go ahead and see how I created that navigation bar by writing a very few lines of CSS codes. So let's open up your code editor. I'm using brackets, and for browser I'm using Chrome. Here I'm in my text editor and you can see that all my contents, HTML markup and all my CSS. Don't worry, I'm going to delete everything from here and start it right from scratch. Let's delete everything from here and also from app.css file. Now let's go ahead and create a basic HTML document and give it a title of navigation bar and link our app.css file. Right, now let's go ahead and create a nav element containing all the navigation items like logo and links. Let's create a div element and it will further contain h1 element which will have an anchor tag with href attribute set to pound, and again it will contain an img tag, and img tag has source attribute set to logo.png and alt attribute logo. You can see that logo.png is displayed here. Let's hit tab to expand it, and if you are not familiar with this syntax, please go ahead and watch my tutorials on how to write your HTML fast using Emmet. So for now let's hit tab and expand it if you are using this brackets text editor and Emmet is installed on it. And let's go ahead and create a nav element, UL element for our unordered list items, and I have already copied the link item, so I'm gonna just paste it here like this. You can see that each list has an anchor tag with a relevant text. So let's see the preview. You can click on this icon to see the live preview, and let me click it again and you can see that here the live preview that we have just created. Let me shift it to the left hand side. Let's go ahead and resize this a little bit. Now we're gonna write all of our CSS here. We have already linked our app.css to this HTML document. Let's go to app.css. First of all, we're gonna write our styles for the mobile devices. So let's target body element and HTML first. So write body HTML, set its font size to 100%, font family to Helvetica and sans serif. Alright, let's select the body element and HTML element, set its margin to 0 and padding to 0. And let's go ahead and select our unordered list items. So nav ul, it will target the unordered list, set its list style to none to remove those bullets, and set its padding to 0 to remove the extra space. Now it's time to go ahead and give it a background for our mobile devices. So let's apply a background color of, let's go with 444 for now. You can use any color you want. For now I'm just going to use grayscale colors. Let's go ahead and target our anchor elements by writing nav ul li a and remove the underline. First of all, let's give it a color of DDD and remove the underline. Text decoration none. Set its padding to 8 rem from top and bottom and 1 rem from left and right, like this. But you can see that your paddings are not being applied. The reason is because we haven't set the display property to block. Let's set it. It's all set. Now it's time to apply a border bottom for each of our list items. So nav ul li and write border bottom 1 pixel solid pound d d d. That's it. Instead of solid, let's go with dotted as in our preview. That's looking nice. Also, one more thing to do here. I want to reset the line height for this anchor elements to 100%. Okay, now it's time to style our logo. So styling logo, it's a comment. So let's target the logo. Where is our logo located? Inside the div element. So I can write like this: nav div first child, right background color to, this time I wanna go with 222, a little bit of dark color, and I also want to colorize this image. To do that, I can write nav div first child and img. It will select the logo image. Let's create a little bit of extra space here by hitting the outside of curly braces. Alright, let's go ahead and apply a filter and set its contrast to 0. Now you can see a little bit of problem here, spacing right below this image, and that's a problem caused by our h1 element. So we can reset this by nav div first child. The reason I am using first child because if you create more than one div element inside that nav element, it will target all of those divs. So that's why I am just using this first child selector. So let's go ahead and find the h1 element and set its line height to 0. Now you're gonna see that extra bit of spacing has been removed, but I want to apply it padding. So I can just go ahead and write padding 0.8 rem from top and bottom and 1 from 0 from left and right, I think, and center it. I want to center it, so I can write text line center for the image. Oh, let's go with h1 elements and it will center our logo. Now you can see there are two problems. You can see that on the top of our logo and below of the logo you can see that the little bit of extra spacing, and this spacing is caused by our h1 element and the ul element, and these are the extra bit of spacings. So we can reset by writing nav and div first child h1 and second one is nav ul and reset their padding to 0, sorry, margin to 0. Now you're gonna see that those spacing has been removed. That's kind of nice, isn't it? Okay, the next thing that we need to do is we need to style our navigation for our larger or desktop devices. This is how it will look on our small screen devices. Let's go ahead and style it for our large screen devices. So we're gonna write some media queries. So let's styling for larger devices. Let's go ahead and write media only screen and min width set to 30 em. Now I'm going to utilize the one of the most powerful module in CSS3 level CSS3 is Flexbox module to power our navigation bars. So let's go ahead and select the nav element and set its display property to flex. immediately you're gonna see a magic. Now you can see that our navigation bar is split into two parts. One is logo and second one is for the links, and stacked horizontally one after another. Now let's go ahead and distribute them so that they will have empty space in between them, and they are stacked left and right respectively. So let's go ahead and write justify content property, and you can use space between. You can also use flex, and to send it to end, and to center it you can use center. For now let's go ahead with this value, space between. Now you can see that there is a little bit of problem with our navigation. You can see that it's still displaying vertically. Let's reset it. To reset it, select the nav element, then ul element, and set its display property to flex. Now they are displaying as a single row. Isn't it interesting that we are just using a single property to make this happen? But there are lots of problems with this kind of navigation. How to solve them? The first problem, you can obviously see that they are not aligned vertically in the middle. So we can easily resolve this problem by going back to this element, this element, ul element, and set its align items property to center. Now immediately you're gonna see another problem, but I think it isn't a big problem, as we can reset it very easily. Nav ul li and set its border bottom to none, and it's gone. That's how easy it is. The second problem I see here is some extra bit of spacing right above my logo image and below it. So that is also a problem caused by our h1 element. So let's reset this. Nav div first child, and select our h1 element and set its padding to 0. That's gone. So guys, there are lots of other things to do. Let's go ahead and find the next problem. You can see that the background color for this container is missing here. So let's go ahead and apply a background color for our container. Let's write background color and give it a background color of pound 222 I think, and reset the background color for our ul element to none. That's it. Alright, now let's see what else we can do to make this pretty nice. You can see that here is space missing from the left hand side of this logo, so we can easily put this by going back to my h1 element and set its margin left to 0.8 rem, and it will work just fine. The reason I am using 0.8 rem, because you can see that there is a padding applied. Here is a padding applied for my all anchor elements from left and right. It's actually one. It will apply equal bit of spacing from both left and right, as you can see that here. Okay, what's the next thing that we need to do? Let's go ahead and resize our logo image for the large screen devices to little bit of smaller. Nav div img, and it's first child, and set its height to 60 pixels. Let's go with 40 pixels. Now you're gonna see another problem. You're gonna notice that there is a little bit of space right below this logo, and that is caused by this nav element, because we haven't centered our elements inside this nav element, which are this div and ul element vertically. To center them, I can write align items to center. Okay, but in this example I want to have little bit of more padding on these anchor elements. I can easily do that by writing nav ul li in a for anchor element and apply a padding 1.2 rem from top and bottom, and one rem from left and right. That's looking little elegant. Now it's time to apply some more styling. So let's go ahead. First of all, I want to apply a margin left to this UL element. Let me show you where. Here you can see that direct after the logo I want a little bit of margin, or I can also apply a margin here. For the H1 element I can write like this, margin 0 for top and bottom and 1 from left and right. This will also work. Yeah, this is working, but you can notice a little bit of problems here. When I resize this, you can see that this is hiding. So let me resolve this. You can easily do that by going to this UL element and setting its flex wrap property to wrap, and then these lines will be wrapped to another line like this. But let me apply a hover effect to show you some more problems. Background, let's go with red for now. You can see that they are not taking up the full space, and you can also see that there is a little bit of extra spacing here, and lots of messy things are going on here. So how to resolve them? Let's go ahead and take a look. Go ahead and jump to this selector here, nav ul li, and resize it a little bit so that I can see the effect of applying this property. Let's apply a flex of one, flex grow of 1 and shrink to 0 and auto for the basis. Now you're gonna see that all of these elements will take up 100% space like this. This property is doing that. It is telling that grow it by 100% when there is an empty space, and shrink it by 0 and apply it an auto flex basis value. This is adjusting nicely on our small screen devices. So this was the last problem that I wanted to show you, but instead of applying this red color hover effect, I want to apply an awesome underline effect. So let's go ahead and take a look how we can do that. I want to apply a splitting underline effect that will meet at the center of each of these links. So first of all, just go ahead and target your after and before, and so selectors, sorry, again I have written after, before, sorry. Let's create a content and set its width to 100%. Let me create a little bit of space here and give it a height of 2 pixels for now, and let's set its background to red for now so that you can see that what's going on, and set its display property to block like this. Alright, so now guys, it's time to set its position property to absolute, and we want to position it relative to this element, li element. So set its position relative. That's it. Now we wanna remove this display property, we don't need it. Let's set its bottom property to 0, and let's set its right property to 0, and let's go ahead and target your before selector. So nav ul li a before, and set its let's leave it as it is for now, and let's go ahead and target the hover properties of these anchor elements and show the these pseudo selectors on hovers. So let's write nav ul li a hover, and then after, let's copy it quickly and paste it, change it to before, and set its width property. But before that, reset this width to 0 so that we cannot see these borders. Let's set its width property to 50%, and let's hover. You want to see that only the border from the right, so let's set its border property left property to 0 for the before element, so that we can see both the underlines. So we have basically created two underlines, one by using the before element and second one is by using this after pseudo element, and we have set their width to 50% each of these, and one is displaying from the right hand side and second one is displaying from the left hand side. And when their width increases here on the hover, they will meet in the center. One comes from the left and second will come from the right. So let's go ahead and apply a transition so that we can see the effect and magic at the same time, and set its 0.2 seconds, set the width property that we want to transition, and is in out timing function. I think now it will look much better when you hover. So this was the effect that I was looking after. So now I have managed to create that effect, and hopefully you will like this effect. So guys, one more thing I want to ask you from that, if you have another approach to create this kind of navigation bars, please share it in the comment section. And if you have any suggestions regarding this navigation bar or any comments, feel free to mention that in comment section below. I will really happy to hear you from guys, and looking forward to see your work and what you have created after watching this video. So please don't forget to share it in the comment section. So guys, if you like this video tutorial, please don't forget to hit like to this video and subscribe to my channel. Bye bye, take care, see you soon.